The year was 1933. Godzilla descended upon the island of Skull Island. He circled around the island with it engulfed in flames. He looked around, reluctant to know what happened here. Godzilla looked as devilish skull crawlers clawed their way. They were like ravaging devils with bones appearing. They looked like zombies out of a movie. These skull crawlers were way more dangerous. Instead of their white and gray colors, they were black and red and with bloodshot red eyes. Their devil, their devilish leader Ramarak was way more bigger in this timeline. With him, with him being so much bigger and actually having horns displayed his symbolism. But sensed something was coming. As Godzilla descended upon the island, Ramarak gasped in awe. It was a Gojira. He was so scared that he told all the skull crawlers to flee back as Godzilla made his way onto the island. Godzilla saw all the destruction that happened around. As he walked around, he looked and he saw something. A young Kong, who was who was at the time just born, looked at his deceased parents. He was crying. As Godzilla knew this was a Kong species, he he looked at it and then he had flashbacks to the Great Gojira versus Kong War. He charged up his atomic breath, ready to finish um, the young ape. As the young ape looked back right at Godzilla's face, Godzilla couldn't bring himself to finish a young Kong. So he decided that he wouldn't kill him, but yet raise him as his own. So Godzilla decided to raise Kong. With the years passing by, he would teach him all the knowledge of combat that he knew, with the year becoming 2013. Kong and Godzilla would fight against the military, bringing forces against them. Godzilla would show Kong how to fight and how to actually react during fighting. The military always shot at them, never perceived how calmful they were. Godzilla shot his atomic breath back at them, destroying military forces around the island, with with Monarch observing from afar. Nuclear bombs were dropped, but Godzilla inhaled all the energy before it could even detonate on them. They would be like normal missiles. Kong would be destroying fighter jets left and right using his fists. He would throw boulders and using trees as weapons, destroying many soldiers and helicopters and airships. After destroying all of the military forces, Kong had a second phase of military forces coming towards him. He grabbed the final plane of the second forces and destroyed it. After destroying that plane, Godzilla walked around the island, but he stopped. Straight in his tracks, he could sense something. Godzilla being stronger, bigger, and also being way more taller would be way more powerful at this timeline. Godzilla and Kong were both Alpha Titans. Godzilla knew Kong was an Alpha Titan, so he kept them and he treated them the same way as an Alpha would treat another. Godzilla would hear the call. This Godzilla being way more bigger and actually way more energetic than the last Godzilla in G14, it would have way more power, way more ferocity. Um, he looked at Kong and told him in sign language, "Are you up for a mission?" Kong would nod to him. As the male Muto would escape captivity, he would fly. But Godzilla Godzilla would be catching him soon enough. Because the male Muto in this timeline was twice as big as the last one, sporting the colors. This Muto sporting way more dangerous spots, as he would have stripes around him. and would actually have more blacker but more red eyes, blacker skin, redder eyes, twice as big as the last one, and was really packing heat with him when he had claws capable of actually killing Gojiras with a precise precision. Kong roared to Godzilla. Are they gonna get going? Godzilla and Kong journeyed together as Kong swam alongside Godzilla, hanging onto his dorsal fins. As as Godzilla made landfall in the Janjira nuclear power plant, absorbing all the radiation, because they were in Japan at the time. Godzilla absorbing all the radiation from there, and then he would turn to look. The male Muto was there. The male Muto roared at Godzilla as Godzilla roared back at the male Muto. The male Muto landed on the building. As they decided that they would fight this out, no other way, it would slam right into Godzilla as Godzilla threw it back and would fight. Kong charged at the female Muto. As he jumped, the female was giving birth to the eggs. Kong, seeing this, would be disgusted by her. The female Muto being the same colors as skull crawlers, but also way more bigger and way more stronger. She roared at Kong and started to chase him. But Kong didn't fall back. He slammed a boulder right into her face, but she got back right up and rammed straight into Kong, pushing him straight into a building. Kong would fall flat, but his eyes would shoot up open and get way more mad than he could ever imagine. Kong and the female Muto would duke it out during the city, Kong throwing two punches right at her face. One and a two, hitting her with a 1-2 combo and throwing a building right into her face. He kept slamming his fists right into her. But the male Muto would swat Kong's fists away and bite straight into his arm. Kong, roaring in pain, would slam his fists straight into the female Muto's head. The female Muto, like a snapping turtle, wouldn't let go of his arm. Kong had one other resort. So he gouged his thumb right into the female female Muto's eye. She'd roar in pain, letting go of Kong's arm. Kong, with his free arm now, would bash his fists right into the female Muto. Female Muto would use an EMP pulse this time, but this one at a time it would be way more effective. With it giving her an extra power up, her claw would go bigger and slam right into Kong. Kong would go flying, sent straight through a building and crashing to the floor. Kong gets back up as his face is covered in blood. He knew this female Muto was strong. This female Muto came brawling straight to Kong. As Kong got ready, he set a trap for her. He dug a hole straight into. He punched his way straight into the ground, making a huge hole. Kong would quickly move out of the way for the female Muto. As Muto would try and claw him, he would move, and then the claw would fall straight into the hole, and then Kong would get the chance would slam his fists right into her head, making the female Muto dizzy and couldn't see properly. She was already blind on her left eye, so she couldn't see properly. She would have to try and do something quickly, or else she would be dead. So she bit into Kong's side, ripping out some flesh. Kong roared in pain. He punched straight into the female Muto, this time making sure she would die. But the female Muto wouldn't die from that brutal assault. Both of them being injured, Kong being off balance, He would focus, remember what Godzilla taught him in the old days. So Kong would get ready for his fight, and he would lunge towards the female Muto, lunging towards the female Muto, bashing his face right into her face, causing blood run out of her mouth. He'd broken her jaw. The female Muto would get back up, but Kong would punch straight into her face right again. Kong would grab her jaw and rip it out. The female Muto screeching in pain, but she's bleeding out, and uses his jaw and stabs it right into her other eye and ripping off her head, killing the female Muto for good. Godzilla fights with the male Muto, with him tail whipping and throwing him right into a building. Godzilla would grab the male Muto by his throat and crash him straight into the floor, using his tail and whipping him into other buildings. The male Muto was stronger in this timeline, but this Godzilla was stronger than G14. He was even stronger than Kong at this point. Even though he would already be stronger than Kong at his base form, Godzilla would tail whip and try and kill the male Muto. He grabbed and thrown the male Muto across the city. The male Muto, weighing twice as he did before, was being lunged across the city like crazy. Kong would look around and nearly get hit by the male Muto. Godzilla threw him across the city, like literally to the end of the city. As they stared each other down from each side, Godzilla ran towards the male Muto. As the male Muto ran towards him, as the male Muto flew towards him, the male Muto this time would have a fireish breath. This time, firing fire right into Godzilla's face. Godzilla would roar in pain as it gets in his eyes. But no matter, it was just temporarily blindness. But the male Muto comes from behind and slams straight into Godzilla's dorsal plates, clawing and tearing at them, ripping out one of them. As radiation gushes out of it, the male Muto starts to feed on his radiation. Godzilla grabs and throws him off. Knowing that his dorsal plates are now really old and really dull, but really strong at this point, Godzilla knew he needs new dorsal plates. As he made a nod to Kong telling him not to do it in his sign language, he yells at Godzilla not to do it. As Godzilla then turns around and explodes his dorsal plates, sending electromagnetic pulses right at the male Muto. All the radiation, oh my days, would be going straight into the male Muto. The male Muto being incinerated by all the radiation. It was all controlled into one blast. Godzilla exploded the male Muto, sending every bit of his body flying across the city, with the male Muto being nothing but a bloody mess on the pavement. As Godzilla's dorsal plates gave out, he looked to Kong and told him, "You will now have to protect. I have taught you well." Telling him in a language, sign language, that you have been taught well. I have taught you well. So go out there and be the Titan you're meant to be. He tells Kong that he has to go heal his dorsal plates, and he will return soon enough. As Godzilla leaves in the water, Kong sheds a tear, not wanting Godzilla to leave him, but he understands. Godzilla has something he needs to do. Godzilla needs to find his own journey. Godzilla needs to heal as well. As Kong looks to the humans, the Kong would be worshipped across the humans. Godzilla and Kong would be called King of Monsters across the globe. But the militaries across the globe would not take kindly to this. As Alan Jonah, seeing the news, would not take lightly and kindly to this. So, Alan Jonah had a devious plan to awaken Monster Zero. Monster Zero in this time would be way more devilish. resembling more of a Descador look. More of a Descador look, and way more bigger. He would have four legs, resembling a Descadora build. He wouldn't have four legs though. He would be way more bigger in size, like at least 700 feet. Kong would grow over the years, but this is the end of the what if. As Alan Jonah gets ready to awaken, the one who is many, this is the end of this what if, but Godzilla, this is the what if Godzilla had raised Kong. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Part 2 will not be coming out really far from now. It's like a close together story. It's not a really big what if series. It's just like assembling what it's gonna do for the series, what's next, what stories come next. But I'll see you guys in the next one.